everybody, welcome back to our channel. We were going to be talking today about authenticity and just not being ashamed of where you are and ashamed of your journey. So if you're interested in this, then just keep watching. Okay, so I was watching a video of these YouTubers. Their names are M.A.D Curls, M.A.D Curls. It's like a mother, I think it stands for, actually I know it stands for Mother and Daughter Curls. They're like like a YouTube hair channel. But they talk about a lot of stuff besides just hair. They kind of do their hair and chat. I just got wind of these ladies earlier this year, but recently they did this video talking about a video that they did last year that I guess a lot of people were talking about. And I did not know about these ladies. I had no idea what they were talking about, but they do live streams, I guess, on Fridays, and something happened within that video where the mother just kind of, I don't want to say she lost it, but she kind of just was, I guess I had a little bit of a breakdown, but it wasn't terrible, and she kind of left the chat. So that made, it kind of made people wonder what happened with the chat. She just kind of left, and kind of abruptly, and the daughter was kind of just sitting there, kind of like, oh, what just happened here? But anyway, so she came back, and she started to talk about their problems. And she talked about being not being truthful with the audience. Now, these ladies are not like character ladies. They're literally themselves, and they seem to be they're very lovely people, real authentic people. But the mother was saying the reason why I left like that is because it's like a buildup of things in her life that were going wrong. And they had been she kind of just came clean. You know, this whole time she's been they've been talking to their audience as if nothing was going on in their life, because I guess you don't have to share your life with everybody. I mean, you don't have to share your life with everybody, so I wasn't mad about that part. You know, that's okay not to have to share everything about your life, but they did feel some certain sense of they need to be real with their audience. And she talked about, you know, they were like on the brink of becoming homeless. They, like, in 2 weeks, you know, and her husband had left her, you know, and there was a series of things, and I think it just kind of, the build-up, it just not being, I guess, real, kind of came up during this live chat for whatever reason. And, you know, she just kind of felt the need to be authentic. What I love is that they were both like, gosh, it feels so much better just to tell, like, just to be truthful, you know, with yourself. And it just really made me think about, you know, just being real. You know what I mean?
Right.
And how hard it was. I mean, I know you guys, if you guys have seen our first video where we share our story of what happened when we came here, that video and our circumstance and our story is kind of like it's a testimony, but it's just kind of makes me realize that when you're just authentic, you just feel better. You know what I mean? Like, you just feel physically better just to tell your story, you know, not that everybody has to go and turn a camera and tell your life story, but there is something about just in general being authentic, even if it's not on camera, you know, and not telling the truth of your life. It's a part of you that has this shame that it's really hard for you to be yourself and feel comfortable with yourself when you know you're holding back something and you're not being completely truthful. So I don't know, these ladies really, I guess it was really inspiring. The video was very inspiring to me because I was like, I love that these people have a platform and they're just like, forget it. I'm not going to be lying about my life. This is what's happening, okay? Right. Her mother has multiple sclerosis. She's going through that. It's, you know, obviously very tough. Right. You know, like I said, they were, I guess, broke and were about to be homeless in 2 weeks from that video. And just her telling her truth, you can see her become more relaxed as she's just telling her truth.
Well, and it's distracting to not tell your story.
Yeah, very distracting. But
it's empowering to tell your story. Take your power back.
Because, you know, when we told our story, it was, like, didn't you feel, I felt better? Because we were both struggling with that. Because, I guess because of embarrassment, right? I mean.
I mean, not when I was about to tell the story, no, because I knew I was going to tell it, so
Oh,
I didn't
okay.
feel
You
like
prepared
I didn't
yourself.
care anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But before any of this, before we started doing our podcast, then yeah, I really didn't like. I'm a private person, so I don't really like people to know.
Yeah.
My business anyway.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not that. I just in general, I don't like people to know who I'm dating. I don't really like people to know, what like when we were talking about like on YouTube. I don't like people to. No, I don't like them. Not like one of those Facebook people that like to take pictures of where I'm at every time, or what I'm eating, or who I'm dating, or what I'm doing. Sometimes I do hold privacy.
Yeah.
As a as something I think that we don't take. Like we kind of think everything needs to be seen now.
I know, right?
And so for my struggle part of my area, it's the same way. It's just like I kind of want to deal with my own problems,
right,
with myself. But the only reason I told this story on this is because
I was gonna say I'm more private. You're more private than me.
Yeah, I don't.
But
really
what made you even tell? That's why I was so shocked when Kara even told the story because I was like, oh, okay, well, she's ready to tell her. To.
Well, I only told people because I felt like it could probably help somebody.
Yeah, that's why.
But that's it. Yeah. Other than that, it really.
That's 100% the reason why I did
right.
it too. Yeah.
Other than that, I really don't. I'm not someone who needs to even sometimes not even the good things happen to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't always need to tell everybody what's going on with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there are things I do tell, like when I'm on Facebook, I tell about my weight loss or but that's more for me. That's not for. That's just to keep me on track.
Right.
Because I'm putting it out there.
Yeah.
Because I always think that if once you put something out there, then you kind of have that is being authentic. Like you can't to say stuff to say you're doing stuff you're not really doing. That's something I don't like in my whole soul. Like I don't like to be fake. I hate fake anything. I really hate fake jewelry. I hate fake people. I hate fake situations. I don't like living on social media and living a fake life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whatever I put out is what's really happening to me.
Yeah.
And if not, I just don't put out anything.
Yeah. Yeah. I think when people go through.
But I feel like what you're saying with this lady, if she felt the need to just walk off the camera, then that's when your personal. That's when you're not feeling authentic. You can't do things like vlogs and podcasts because those things are about your life.
Yeah.
They're not. It's not. Like what we're doing now is about our life. We're putting the camera on things like our hotel room.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you can't sit up there and be fake when you're talking about real things in your real life.
Right.
You know what I mean? So even if people are vlogging about their family, like we see people walk around with their kids and their husband, it has to be real. Yeah. Once it starts looking scripted, then it's no longer fun anymore. So for her, she's probably just thinking, I don't want to. I want the life that I'm portraying, so I'm not going to pretend like...
In the sense when she was doing this, the sense that I got when she came back and told what was going on, because I know that the audience was probably like, what? Is that it's embarrassing. This woman, I think she said she was 51. I think she said she was 51. Her daughter, they're very beautiful women. They seem very it's just, you get a feeling about people. And I feel like they're just very kind souls, kind people. But I felt for her when she walked off and then came back and told her story, because there is something extremely embarrassing and I guess kind of shameful when you are a grown person and you don't have your life together. And you know that once you're telling people that they're going to be like, oh my God, like, in my situation, I'm 42, and and it is kind of difficult, and I felt for her when she came back and said, what was really going on with her. I just really, really admired that, because I was like, man, this is what people need to do. Like I said, not always on camera. I'm not talking about all that, but just in general, just privately, when you're not telling the truth of your life. You know what I mean? It's just not a good thing.
Well, failure is a part of success.
It's
not, there is no such thing of people who succeed and never did anything but succeed.
Right.
You know what I mean? But in this world, we make it seem like there's no room for failure.
Yeah, we do.
You know what I mean? Like, I didn't even know if I was allowed to date. Unless I had my own place and I had a car and all the things that they say you're supposed to have at this point in your life. Yeah. So I didn't even know if I was good enough for any man.
Right. It's an uncomfortable circumstance, even like you're saying with the dating thing, is that it's an uncomfortable thing, We're not...
Most people will say to me, oh yeah, go out and date. Any man who really cares about you is not going to care about what you make anyway. But I care. You know what I mean? And so, but I think it was only because I felt like like you can't, you can't be dating and failing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
You know, you can't add someone to your life when you're in a failure state of,
Yeah.
But that all depends on how you perspective. You know what I mean?
If you're not comfortable with your life, then yeah, it's gonna get in the way.
You can't do it. So I just decided not to.
Right. It's just kind of like a big lesson for people out there that you're just more appealing when you're just talking about what's really going on in your life. You know what I mean?
Right.
Especially like you said, when you're chit chatting and talking about your life. People. I think the mother even said this in one video. She was like, "We don't want people thinking that we're just perfect."
Right.
You know what I mean? And we had this dark thing going on in our life that was really weighing heavy on us, and we were trying to put a smile on our face when he came on camera. I think she actually said that. She's like, and it's just, I just feel like since I haven't, like I said, I haven't followed them for a long time, but I have seen their videos, kind of like binge watch some of them, and their energy is completely different now since that time than it was right before they told their story. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a much more relaxed kind of...
There's a difference between being private and being a secret.
Yeah. Secret means you're keeping shame. There's a little shame. You shouldn't be shamed.
There's like a secret, and then there's being like private. And for a while, I guess I did think that I was being like secretive because, but I am in general just a private person.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? I don't really enjoy talking about. I don't really enjoy talking about because I don't think that being a victim is talking about what happened to you. I think being a victim is blaming it on anything but you.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? So it's like if you're in a bad relationship and you've been in it for 3 years, then you are the fault of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's nothing wrong with talking about the mistakes you made in the relationship.
Right.
But there is something when you blame it all on the person and not any on yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like if you lose all of your money because you made bad investments or you just made bad money choices, it's hard to say, oh, it's because I didn't make enough money.
Yeah.
Or because I was... So to me, if you want to talk about your money problems, that's fine, but make sure that you add yourself in whatever it is that you think is a problem in your life. I don't think that there's anything that's happened in my life that I didn't have, probably didn't have coming.
Yeah, it was it was building up to what it ended up being, which is homeless. Right. You know what I mean? That's what it was building up to be. So I guess in a sense, you do. There's a responsibility you have to take when you with the down parts of your life, but there's also that part where you don't want to beat yourself up either, but you do see where you went wrong, you know what I mean? And then I think that's telling that truth to yourself is what I think changes you and then relationships around you, like the people around you.
Telling your story is productive. Beating yourself up is unproductive.
Yeah, right.
Because you can't really change anything from your past. You can't change what you've already done. You can't change what's already happened. But then to, ask for strength and guidance, and then to even just talk about what happened, that's fine. But to actually sit there and beat yourself up and call yourself stupid and put yourself down, that's really unproductive. That doesn't change anything. That's just being mean to yourself. Because you think like you deserve, like a lot of people don't think that they deserve to be happy when they've lost everything. Yeah. So you'll find yourself sometimes when you've lost everything in a place where you want to laugh and smile, but you don't feel like you deserve to sometimes, because you feel like you can only be happy when you're doing things that the society says is the right way to live.
It's like you're punishing yourself. Like, you messed up, so now I'm going to punish myself. I can't be happy anymore until I fix myself. I'm not allowed to smile and be happy, but
unless I look good to the world. I'm not allowed to sit right here and be happy. Yeah, and it's just untrue. You're allowed to be happy whenever you want to. In fact, I think in order for you to overcome anything, you have to be in a happy place. I don't think that you can get anywhere in life if you don't appreciate your own journey. Like, for me, I think I told you before that to feel bad about your life when you've lived as long as I've lived. You know what I mean? I've lived, I'm 43. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to let one moment in my life or one chapter of my life be the definition of the entire years I've lived. Right. You know what I mean? I get to, this is, to me, it's all, I think life is about perspective. Yeah. It's all how you look at things, There's a song by India Ari called There's Hope or
Oh,
something
yeah, I
like
like that
that.
song.
And there's a part in the song, because I like words, but there was a part of the song where she says she's in Brazil. She's like, and she met a that she said she met a young brother that made her feel that she could accomplish anything. He said just
Yeah.
like, and he had no windows, he had no doors, he had a simple life and was extremely poor. And she's comparing that to, he was also blind.
Yeah.
And she said he had no eyesight and that didn't keep him from seeing light. So she's like,
Yeah.
so he asked her what it's like to live in the USA, and she
Yeah.
said all she did was complain.
Yeah.
And he said, he said, living here is paradise. And he taught her, because he can't see, that paradise is in your mind.
Yeah.
And so I love that song whenever I'm feeling some sort of way.
Yeah.
I like that song because it is true.
Yeah.
That there are people around the world that are like third world countries that don't have close to what we have even in our poverty state in
And
America.
we still complain.
And we complain and they don't,
Yeah.
because they don't see they don't look at success the way that we do.
Yeah.
But also success is in your mind. It depends on what it is you want to succeed
Yeah.
in. Everybody's success doesn't look the same, but we make it look like everybody's supposed to look success is supposed to look a certain way. But everybody doesn't want to be rich.
Right.
Everybody
Right.
doesn't want to have children.
Right.
Everybody doesn't want to doesn't want to live in mansions and stuff like that. That's not success to them, but there's success in their life
Yeah.
that they're trying to accomplish that have nothing to do with those things.
Yeah.
But we only make it look like success is paper.
I
What's on paper,
rate, see,
you know?
my race, I've always measured success as just, I'm a successful person if I'm being true to myself, because I know that if I'm being true to myself and being real with myself, then I know I can achieve anything that I want to achieve. The problem was before is that I wasn't being real with myself, and so I was not achieving. That's what it was happening. That's just the truth of it. I was just not achieving because I wasn't being as real as I could be, because I was hiding. You know what I mean? And I think that I feel a level right now. I know that things are better, and now I just feel like now, you know, you're in that hole, right? And then you're climbing, and you finally see, okay, I'm out of the ground now. So now I'm at that level where I'm just standing up on top now, and I can just keep going higher. But I don't think I would have got there if I wasn't just true to myself. That's how I measure success. And then with that, you will get things you want, even if it's materialistic things. It's really okay. Honestly, that's another thing, is that it's okay to want materialistic things, y'all. It's just that you have to understand that it's not everything. That materialistic things, that stuff can come and go. You can, look, we can tell you, it comes and it goes. Okay, we lost it all. So,
But Abraham Hicks,
but still, you can still strive for it.
Talks about manifestation in a way that I understood it better than like The Secret.
Yeah.
And she was saying that manifesting anything in your life when you've lost it, or if you've never even had it, but you want it, you know, is all is we're doing it every day, but we're doing it through, you know, the way that we feel about ourselves and what we feel that we deserve having it, and that our main focus isn't getting the item or getting the relationship or getting the child or getting the money. It's getting happy.
Yeah.
And they say we think that our life will be happy if we get it.
Yeah.
So what you really want to do is match your happiness with what it is that you don't have in the physical to receive it. But most people don't think that. They think in the sense of lack.
Yeah.
And we attract it. That's the reason why a lot of times we lose things. And sometimes we ask for things that are really big in our life. Like I've always, you know, thought, because I was thinking that all the dreams that I've ever wanted, I've always wanted. I've wanted for years. Even when I moved to New York, was the whole reason I moved to New York. You know, was to be successful in my own right. You know what I mean? And I think that when you ask for something big, because I've always been, even since I was a kid, I've always thought,
I'm a dreamer.
I've always thought big. Like I always think you got to do things in a big way. You know, and that's why I moved to New York. I didn't move to Chicago. I moved to New York City, the biggest city in the world. You know what I mean? Even when I worked at Macy's, I didn't work at the small store. I worked at the biggest store in the world. You know what I mean? And I always feel like I like big things. I like shiny things. I like, you know, if I have a house, I want a mansion. I want those, you know what I mean? And so I always just think that when you ask for something and you really want it, I think that sometimes your current life doesn't match it.
Yeah.
And so then the universe has to tear it apart.
Yeah.
And it's uncomfortable. It's an uncomfortable tearing apart. So with these ladies, that could have been. It could have been that she, all the time, you know, she said she was going through a divorce. All the time she wanted something better. And in order to get better, her life had to be completely dismantled.
Right.
Like I feel like what happened with us. I think I did want to get married and I wanted to have kids and I still want those things. Those things haven't gone anywhere. But I think that as my life was standing, that God God or the universe, whatever you want to call it, I said, then if it's in you, then it's for you. But you weren't living
Yeah.
in that way to receive those things. So now, since you've asked for it and you really believe it, and I know you do, then what I'm going to do is do something that's really uncomfortable and stuff that you aren't even
Yeah.
something that you're not expecting
Yeah.
to happen, and it's going to be scary, but it's going to be necessary to get you to where you really need to be.
Right.
And where you really need to be is mental stuff. It's not really physical. So action without any real belief
Yeah.
is a wasted action.
It is, because you have to really feel like you can do it.
So in order for me to
Yeah.
get to the mansion, in order for me to get to the Porsche, in order for me to get to the marriage, in order for me to get to whatever, my life as I believed it to be had to be completely dismantled. And I didn't think that in the now I do. But when I first came home, that wasn't happening to me. That was happening for me.
Yeah.
That was happening. That was something that I needed, and probably you too.
Yeah.
Because it happened with you. So you must have been thinking some things too.
Yeah.
But that was all happening for me because the outcome of what I want is coming.
Yeah.
Everything is coming. So whenever I get it, whenever I do get all of those things, all of that will make sense.
Yeah.
It didn't make sense when it was happening. But it'll make sense when you're in a different place in your life and you're like, oh, that had to happen. Because where I was mentally when we left New York, and even when we were in New York, was nowhere near where I need to be mentally to receive the things that I thought I was that I thought that I wanted.
It's almost like I had to be taken out of a bigger place and be brought down to more of a smaller place so I can think more abundantly. It was really weird because you always think that and that's just true. It's true for in some cases where you move to a big city and the big of course with New York and places like New York and LA and Miami, wherever it is you're at, it's a big city. It does show you that you can literally do anything you want, right? It gives you that kind of energy of go for it energy, but it doesn't matter where you're at. If you don't feel it, you can be. I was in New York and I didn't necessarily. I wasn't really feeling what I should have been feeling. You know what I mean? When I got home, it's like we were, like God just disassembled everything, and that made me kind of get to a different space in my life where I was like, okay, well, the distractions are now gone.
It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter what your race is. It doesn't matter your gender. It doesn't matter anything. It matters what you truly believe you deserve. For yourself. And if you really believe that you deserve the best in life, you'll get it. It may come with some bumps and scrapes and bruises,
but you have to live
but
your
you
truth.
do have to go through those things. And I'm understanding that right now that you kind of have to be afraid.
You have to be afraid, and you have
to take risk.
You have to
make
live
decisions.
Your truth. If you don't live your truth, that's when it gets all messed up. Think about like Malcolm X, for instance. Malcolm X is a perfect example because he they were all against him at some point. You know what I mean? But he just decided just to stay with truth.
Yeah.
He did. I know he knew what was going on there within the own Muslim community, how they were treating him, and what was exposed. He knew that, but he decided that he's going to go ahead and just keep telling his truth.
Yeah.
And then I'm just going to keep doing that.
Yeah.
And when you keep telling your truth, then you can live a more your life is like it's almost like a easier life to live because you're not being a big phony.
Yeah, it's like
you know what I mean.
What's the name? Martin Luther King.
Yeah, same thing with Martin Luther King.
It's like he thinks big.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And my favorite speech is not even the I Have Dreams speech, it's the Mountaintop speech. Yeah. Because he did die soon after that. Yeah. But you could tell even in that speech that he knew that it was coming, but the words in that speech just they stay with me because I know what he's saying is that sometimes our lives we're here for a purpose.
Yeah.
And he knew that. He knew that his life was going to be short.
Yeah.
And he accepted that. He even said in the speech, I'd like to live a long life. You know what I mean? But I can't think about that right now because first of all, he's already seen the mountaintop, and he realizes that God is using him to give people freedom that needs to be talked about.
Your circumstances being used, I think, to maybe help others. I can't begin to tell you how many times people say, well, gosh, your guys' story is like a mirror to my story. Like it's the same, thing that happened with me. And some of the comments that we get is that where people are kind of happy, I guess, in a way, or that we're sharing our story while we're still in it. And that's a lot of things. That's a lot of times. I think I am pretty proud of that in a sense, because I don't know if I would have the courage to do that. Like a few years ago, not even a few years ago, maybe 3 years ago, I don't know if I had the courage to be. I would probably wait for perfect conditions and then I would tell my story. You know what I mean? Like I would have done that before, but I'm like, no, I'm not gonna wait for everything to look great. You know what I mean? And then now I'm gonna tell you. You know, it's fine if you do that, but it's just that didn't feel authentic to me. So yeah, but I just think that our story, I think we're just being used. I think everyone, if you're going through a struggle, just see it as you are a teacher now. We are now teachers in this particular situation, and hopefully it can help somebody. And whenever I'm always a student, so whenever I see someone doing well or not doing well, I always look at that and say,
Yeah.
do better. You can do better.
Yeah, I mean, we're not here just to live and pay bills and take pictures
No.
on social media to show some sort of false
It
image
feels like
of
that
ourselves.
sometimes, though, doesn't it?
Yeah,
It feels
everybody
like
takes
that,
a picture of everything. We all want to be seen.
Yeah.
And
it's
heard.
true.
I think Oprah said that. She said the one thing that she learned about all those years on the Oprah show was that everybody has a story. Everybody just wants to be heard.
Yeah.
Whether
it's true.
whether it's a Black Panther or a Klans member or a woman that's been raped or a man that's been raped or children who have been abused, everybody just wants to be heard.
Yeah.
And so that's what happens in this world. We don't, and I think that's the reason why social media is so popular.
Yeah.
Because we have a chance now to all be heard.
Yeah. It's
We're
true.
not just celebrities,
Right.
not just people who with a microphone. Everybody has the right now to get on camera and say whatever you want and take pictures. But on the other hand of that, I think that now we've become a society of highlights.
Yeah.
You know,
There's
what I
a
mean?
lot of
And trying to
highlights.
show some image of ourselves that may
Right.
not really be.
Yeah.
May not be who we really are. You know what I mean? The thing is like I like who I am.
Me too.
And I think that you can only tell your story kind of when you do like who you are.
Yeah.
And you can only tell it from, now by that, if you don't like who you are and you tell your story, it's going to come out victimized because you'll be blaming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if you really like who you are, you really realize like, that you are not a victim and that you participate in your own life.
Yeah.
So if anything's going wrong in your life, it's because you participated in it. You know, I can't tell you how many times people say to me, oh, men and women, they have their past relationships and they're always blaming the other person, and I should have done this and I should, or I should have left that person a long time ago. Well, okay, well, that's the part where you didn't do it.
Yeah.
That's the part where you messed up.
Right.
And so that's just it. Or people who are overweight and then they just sit there and they blame it on, McDonald's not putting the calorie count or something.
Right.
No, you do know that if you overeat at McDonald's, you will be
Right.
overweight. It's not the best food.
Right.
As far as nutrition, it's not the best food. You know what I mean? So it's just like we have free will. You know what I mean? I believe we have destiny, but I also believe God gave us free will. And we have the right to do and say and become anything we want to become. Again, like I hate to bring it back to slavery, but I think how blessed I am to live at this time, space, that those people were looking at me now, my ancestors looking at me thinking like, look at what she can do.
Yeah, or even when we weren't,
do.
or even when we weren't,
You know?
I wasn't doing all I could do. I know that ancestors were looking at me like, you're not doing enough,
Right.
Danielle. You were not. I did a lot,
Right.
You're not doing enough. You can do a lot more with your life than what you're doing, and I did not. I was living such a mediocre life. Like, I was a mediocre person, and I will admit that I was a mediocre person, and I was living that existence. And I feel like when you're just living to exist, that is
Not a life worth living.
That's not a life. That's not a life. You just gave in to all the greatness that you could be giving. And I feel like I was kind of just falling in the shadows of, just falling, just going with the flow and working my little, hourly wage job. And no matter what the hourly wage was, just kind of do, and I'm not downing people who have those look, all my life I've been a working class person. I'm working class. Okay. I come from a working class family. So I admire people who get up and go to work. Okay. That's not what I'm saying. But everyone has something more they can give than
our soul,
just not
really,
doing anything.
Yeah, I mean, our soul, I believe, really wants to make a difference.
Yeah.
In the world, our soul is not here just to be hurt and live in pain and misery.
Yeah,
I mean, that's our ego. Our ego can really
mess you up.
It can really ruin us. You know what I mean? But our soul is here to do a mission.
Yeah.
It's here to help people on a grand scale and then a small scale. It doesn't matter. We're all, like Danielle said, we're all teachers and we're all students every day.
Every
we're
day.
learning, and if you're only a teacher, then you need to move out of your space.
Yeah.
Because because you need to always be learning and moving forward, and life will give you that little inner self that says, you've outgrown the situation, it's time for you to move on to something else.
That's the most important thing to me right now, is just to be authentic and just make sure, like, even with the show, like, just making sure that no matter what, that it's all about authenticity. If it's that is not there, then we can shut the camera off.
Right. Yeah.
That's just
I was telling a friend at work once that, because she was talking about being, she's like, being a victim. And I said, well, victim is a character. You know what I mean? It's a thing. We all have a role that we play that I guess in our own mind gives us an excuse for why it is that we can't achieve. And, that's what you're playing right now. You're playing the victim.
Yeah.
You're playing the person that uses the world as a way of this beats me up.
Right.
So now I get to be the person that never has to take responsibility for how I show up in my own world.
Yeah, because taking responsibility
it's a
really
power move.
Yeah, and it really means that you're gonna have to be real and be like, okay, well,
when you're not a victim, I can tell you this about myself. When you're not I'm not a person that plays. I can be a kind of a tough person sometimes, but people aren't as coddling to you.
Oh no, it's a different feeling.
That's why people love the victim mentality, because it makes people make you feel bad.
Oh,
but when people don't feel bad for me.
No,
Let me tell you, people don't feel bad for me. Most people challenge me because I'm a challenging type person, but I'm telling you, when you don't play that role and you let that go, people don't feel sorry for you anymore, and that is what scares a lot of people when they have to give up that and become more of an assertive person.
But people who are not whole really look forward to seeing you fail.
Yeah.
So if you're doing well in life right now, not even if you've reached where you want to reach yet, you're just you're on your way. They know it too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they know it too, and they're gonna do all they can to try to lower your vibration,
make you feel like a fool,
and make you feel dumb. You can't do it. All the big naysayers are gonna come in. So don't get fooled by that. You just keep rising up.
Yeah.
If you drop down to that level, then you're not going to make it. So,
even in this situation right now, living in a hotel and trying to fight my way, out of it, I get opposition all the time.
All the time.
Because I'm just not a girl that sits around crying all the time. You know what I mean? I'm not a girl that sits around feeling sorry for myself. And I'm tough not only on myself, but I can be tough on other people.
Yeah.
And so that's just because I know that when someone's being passive, that's an act. That's an act that you create for yourself. It's not what you have, it's the way you think. If you think that you're nothing, then you are.
Yeah.
If you think that you're something, I don't care where I don't care if you're serving burgers at McDonald's, then you are.
But if you think that someone is higher than you as a person, a human being, like, I think God is higher than me.
Yeah.
Okay, I think God's higher than me.
That's it.
So if you are feeling like there's a human being that is somehow higher than you, because they have money and notoriety, you know what I mean, then you have a lot of work to do. Because I'm telling you, you're no different than them. You really aren't. The only difference, that the vast difference would be, is that they made a decision and took action and belief in themselves. That's the only difference. So once you take action and believe in yourself, and I'm only saying this because I was that person where I thought there were people that were, because they have this and that and the other, not necessarily famous people, just people I know, you know what I mean? Just people I know, or famous people too, that I thought that they were somehow different than me. I'm like, no, they're all human. Like, what am I talking about? It wasn't until I started to realize, well, you know what? You don't believe in yourself.
Yeah.
I did not believe in myself. I didn't believe anything I was saying. Everything I was doing just seemed like just mediocre, and when I started to believe in myself and when I started to take action is when I just started to see those people I was talking about, great people. But so am I.
Yeah.
So are you.
So
you know what I
Oh,
mean?
well, Michael Beckwith was saying that he doesn't care how he got through the being public person. He's like how he got through, the idea of not being private and being a public person and being successful like he is now. He says that you can't, he's like, I go through life not caring about applause, and I don't care about people lift me up or bring me down. He said, because both of them require me to care too much about what other people think.
Yeah. And he
says, so even if people are lifting you up and go, oh, thank you, understand that that you can't ride the wave of what people think of you all the time. So even if they like you, You know what I mean? It makes you have to care too much about what other people think. So that way, your mind will go to what other people think instead of what you believe.
Yeah.
And in your own power.
Right.
So you don't want to care too much about applause, but you also don't want to care at all about what people think when they think badly of you.
Yeah.
And it does. None of it matters.
It doesn't.
It's really just what you really believe. Because believe me, the people who applaud you, if you say one thing wrong that goes against them, ask Kanye West.
Yeah.
He was a king. He was what they call him, the greatest rapper of the world. But then as soon as he started marrying Kim Kardashian, he started making some mistakes somewhere and saying the wrong thing or saying things that people just didn't like to hear. Then all of a sudden he was a sellout. He was, you know what I mean? So you have to think like that. You have to understand that people aren't always going to lift you up. Even people like your family. People are not always going to be on your side. Your friends are not always going to be on your side. And someone once said that the people who are going to support you the most are people who don't know you. Know me.
But don't be fooled, you guys.
Don't be fooled.
It's not all. This doesn't happen all the time, but it happens too often. Is that your friends and your family a lot of times are not going to get it.
No.
If you have a dream that they don't understand, they're not going to get it and they won't support it.
No. And you know what?
They
Though,
won't
that is
support
also
it, so.
okay.
It is
Because
okay.
when you know that
you're
you're
right.
creating with the divine, your family and your friends are just
not-
that. They're just
yeah.
your family and your friends. They don't have to support
you
They don't
and-
have to do any of that. They don't have to do any of that. That has nothing to do with them.
Yeah.
They have the right to have an opinion
Yes.
just like you do. So
I
my
get
decision
annoyed.
on doing anything is based on my God and myself.
Because I do get annoyed when I hear people go, "Oh my God, my friends and family are not supporting me."
So?
Why are you? You've then lost focus of your entire goal.
So you need
because
them
you're
in order to
living.
move on.
Yeah, so you need them. You need their validation for you to do well. No, it's look they cannot support you at all. It's that's their prerogative. It's fine. It's not. That is not part of. That's not part of the journey.
They're not going to give
It's
you.
not part
You
of
know,
the journey.
your contracts are not going to be given to you by your friends and family.
No.
They're going to give them to you from people who don't
Yeah.
really know you.
Offers
you know what I
and
mean?
stuff, yeah.
Offers and opportunities come from people outside of your circle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like I said before, there are going to be people when you get to the second level of your life. There are going to be people from that first level that aren't going to be there.
Yeah, they're gonna make
and
it.
then when you get to the third level, they're going to be people from that second level that aren't going to be there.
They're gonna
And
make
life
it.
is about letting people
Yeah.
go. You know what I mean? And sometimes it's not bad. There are people who are just there to help you get to another level, and then they will be gone, and that was their purpose.
Yeah. Sorry about the background noise, you guys. They're vacuuming out there. Loud.
Oh yeah,
It's very loud, but we have to cut out anyways. But
yeah.
but yeah, no, you're absolutely right about that. Just you guys stay in your own lane, I think, and just like we were saying in the beginning, just really be authentic and be true to who you are. And I promise you're gonna feel better about that. But never be ashamed. If you're going through a period where you feel ashamed of something, that is pretty natural. It's pretty natural if you're really embarrassed, but you really have to get over yourself.
But if you knew what was really going on in a lot of people's lives, you wouldn't feel ashamed at all.
Man, if you knew some of the conversations I have, you would be like, what? They're going through that? So yeah, don't.
I lost everything at 37 years old.
It happens.
And I've been doing well and climbing up that, but it's been a slow
Slow
climb.
climb.
It's been a slow climb, but I'm still going. You got to stand in your strength.
Right.
You know what I mean? You cannot listen to outside noise.
Nope.
Outside noise. You know what I mean?
And my mom just texted us. We're supposed to come over her house to do some Thanksgiving shopping.
See how much fun that is?
We have to get going, you guys, and get out of
Gotta
here.
go to the grocery store.
We see your text
hang with
message.
my
Mom,
mom.
if you're watching this, we can see your text message. We're wrapping it up. Okay. Okay, I hope you guys liked the show today. Just be authentic. Let us know what you think about everything. If you would like, put a comment in the comment section. Subscribe to our channel. Go and like our Facebook page if you like. It is all Convos with Kara and Danielle. And let us know what you think. But thank you guys so much for watching, and we shall see you next Tuesday. Bye.